People think because Tasmania is a very small island, you can get one of the tour buses and see it all in 1 week. Well, you can't. I will show you what we saw in 4 weeks. We started off, we got a direct flight from Brisbane to Launceston. Then we went up to Scottsdale. Then we went to Bridport. Then to Tomahawk, which is just up the road. Then we went across here to Shearwater. And a little beach here, Turner's Beach, is a delight. Ulverston is in there, and Penguin. And a little further along is Boat Harbour, and a delightful place, Crayfish Creek, Table Cape. Then we did a big trip one day to a very exciting place, the edge of the world. That will blow you away. Just up from there is Marrowa. Now, we went back up here to Somerset, and then we went back to Launceston again. From Launceston, we took the Midland Highway down to Hobart, and then on to the magnificent Bruny Island. We were there for quite a few days, but then we came back to Hobart and we had the Solstice swim. Then on the way back, we did a little bit of the East Coast. We went to the lovely Bicheno, had a peep at St Mary's, and then we went back to Launceston to have the 2.25 hour flight once more back to Brisbane. This took 4 weeks in a hire car. Our arrival in Launceston was met by a fog rolling up the river. My niece Wendy was in quarantine. She'd been in New South Wales holidaying, so we stayed at the Art Hotel on York. An interesting place, absolutely littered with paintings gloriously. On finishing quarantine, Wendy discovered her car is covered with ice and frost, so she got some hot water and poured it over the windscreen. Our next thought was a quick cup of coffee watching the view under the Trevellyn Bridge. It was a great day today to go for a sky ride. The gorge is raging. So much water is coming down. I lived here. My brother used to pick me up after work and we would swim from one side of the gorge to the other. That, of course, was forever ago. Today, we were greeted by the local inhabitants, Bennett wallabies. It's midwinter, and the colours here are absolutely glorious. The Ginza trees are shedding their leaves, getting ready for the spring growth. The male peacocks have lost their long feathers and the new ones are quite short, but they are displaying them well. I just sat there in this magic display. The leaves were falling all over me. The lass in the coffee shop said she had ordered a clean-up this morning and every leaf was blown away. Not now, though. The leaves are falling and falling. It's a delight. It's golden snow. Annabelle's at Scottsdale has always been a favourite spot of mine. It has changed hands recently, but it's still just as delightful. The gardens are so well kept and the ancient trees tower over us. And here we are again at Bridport, ready for breakfast this morning. We had booked a unit at Bridair at Bridport, and it turns out this is the same new owner as Annabelle's. The sunrise was glorious this morning, just from my bedroom window. Dozens of major mutuals were also having their breakfast this morning. I had been looking forward to a very cool swim at Grandad's Pier. There was a lot of weed in the water, which was horrid and clung to my feet a bit, but I struggled through and had a fairly murky swim today. It was also freezing. It's 4 degrees today. I'm the cameraman, so no photo of me in the water. After the swim, we decided to have a meal at the pub that Grandad had built. And there on the wall are photos of my family history. It made me so proud. And this is Mermaid's Pool, a favourite swimming pool of mine in my youth. It's much better with a full tide. The old pier is looking very frail. It has weathered many, many storms. Only a very few pylons are left these days. The Lost Farm is a great golf course, also a great place for a meal. I think perhaps the golfers lose many balls in the wilderness there. This area catches a lot of wind. What a handsome pair. I think they want to be friends. After lunch at Lost Farm, we went on to Tomahawk to have a bit of a peep at the beach there. It's a lot calmer here. Shearwater is always a delightful place to visit. Lovely beach, needs a bit of full tide for a swim. Turner's Beach is a lovely swimming area. It's not very far from Launceston. All the northern Tasmanian beaches are a great place to stay. They all have accommodation available. Here at Launceston, I am watching the goods train go past. When I see this, I always think it's such a pity it's not a train that will carry tourists. It's so magical all along North Tasmania. All the beaches are clearly visible from the train, and it's such a waste. It would be a glorious panoramic train ride. And just some shots of Launceston and its lovely river. The seaside village of Penguin. There are many free camping sites along the northern beaches of Tasmania, and they have amenities also. Boat Harbour is also a very popular holiday area. There used to be a large area for free camping, but that seems to have disappeared at the moment. The tide was in and Crayfish Creek was in full swing. You have to judge the tide very carefully here, otherwise you just get to play in the sand. Nibbling the grass is a paddy melon. This was our cabin. There are many different cabins, including a tree house. There are many interesting bushwalks from here for the more energetic. Some of the young campers wanted to play with my drone. The view is actually amazing.
Cape.
I think that's Wynyard you can see on the right in the distance. Well, it's a pretty wild day here today, but I think the edge of the world is nearly always pretty wild. I think our nearest neighbour is Antarctica. I think also the west coast of Tasmania is not so visited, and it is a most amazing place. The last visit we went to the Tarkine, and that surprised me at every turn of the road. The foliage is different, the trees are ancient. It's actually like no other place in the world. I will read the poem by Bruny Island, At the Edge of the World. The edge of the world, north-west coast Tasmania. I cast my pebble onto the shore of eternity to be washed by the ocean of time. If he has shown form and substance, it is me. One day I will be no more, but my pebble will remain here on the shore of eternity, mute witness for the eons that today I came and stood at the edge of the world. The blue building you can see down there is the Somerset Lifesaving Club. In the main street, Somerset has a great bakery. It sure is a foggy morning this morning, not too good for driving, but great for photography. Wendy is holding a painting done by Robin. That's the view she sees every day from her lounge window. From Launceston, we took the Midland Highway, and in a couple of hours we were soon in Hobart. You can see the trout farming on the right. There on the bottom right is the ferry terminal. It runs every 20 minutes. We have a fair drive. I think it's about 50 k's. We are going to Adventure Bay. We have booked a cabin there for a few days. That's the ferry terminal. It's the Captain Cook Holiday Park. Well, lots of lovely beaches. I can see my camera is going to be very, very busy. And quite a community of artistic people also. Bruny Island is a breeding ground for many birds. It is also home to a balanced mix of grazing land, pristine national park and dry eucalypt forest. the happy travellers with the brochure. This is the Bruny Island Isthmus. This Bruny Island Isthmus connects the North and South Bruny Island in southern Tasmania and offers stunning 360-degree views. Just 40 kilometres from Hobart, Bruny is Tasmania's fourth largest island. This isthmus is very interesting. It's so narrow, it's a wonder the sea hasn't demanded the rites of passage. Obviously, a few people live here with very hidden drives. A painting on the pub wall. This is the entrance to the Aboriginal Museum. We are about to have a lecture as we are going on a boat ride to view the basalt formation of the cliffs just around the corner. It's an absolutely wild day, so it should be a very exciting trip. We had the choice of a wet, foggy, unclear day or a wild, windy day. I chose the windy day. Both Noel and I are old salts and okay with the rough weather. We've been warned there are 2 to 3 metre waves out there. I just love the rock formations, especially with the basalt, and these were absolutely tremendous and so colourful. I'm fighting with the sunlight coming through and the bumpy sea to get a good shot. But it's incredible. It's like a tower looking down on me. It's very difficult. The boat is so crowded. The sea is so rough. I am trying to get the best shot I can get of this great sculptural piece. Everybody is securely locked in with safety belts. It's so rough. Many are unwell. With this burst of spray from underwater, the driver said it was from an underground cave, and with the tide thrusting in, it throws the water very high. I'm on the wrong side of the boat to get it, so I am unleashed and right across the other side to get some shot.
Yeah, I got that one.
Oh, I think that's a penguin on the rocks. I've been told it's a Bruny Island penguin, but it's really a cormorant.
Sorry, can you get it?
If I go too far today, I reckon we're the key jammed in the rock.
Tasmania's diversity has contributed directly to the island's biodiversity, that is, the numerous and varied plant and animal species. The state's geodiversity is a result of continental drift, ice ages, humid, hot conditions, and earthquakes occurring over many millions of years. The geology of Tasmania is complex, with the world's biggest exposure of dolomite. It is one of the few southern hemisphere areas that were glaciated during the Pleistocene, with glaciated landforms in the higher parts. The West Coast region hosts significant mineralisation and numerous active and historic mines. More incredible basalt sculptures standing guard over the bay. This is the sea lion's favourite sunning spot, but no sun today and only one visible. We all trailed slowly back to the museum, trying to find our land legs again. We were all very grateful for the long red coats, otherwise we would have been drowned. The waterways are just stunning on the way back to our cabin. I'm afraid the birds do not like my drone. And this is Adventure Bay. The first European to sight this bay was explorer Abel Tasman, who sought to anchor his vessel Heemskerk there. Abel Tasman arrived in November 1642. His ships Zeehan and Heemskerk briefly entered Adventure Bay, but fierce storms prevented him from landing. Adventure Bay is named after HMS Adventure, which was a bark that the Royal Navy purchased in 1771. She had been the merchant vessel Marquis of Rockingham, launched in 1770 at Whitby. Back at our cabin, I could hear birds chirping. I decided to investigate. Perhaps this is a permanent site. I'm not sure, but anyway, he is well set up to feed the parrots, and he has a rabbit waiting quietly to be fed. They are green rosellas. And provided you have food in your hand, they are very friendly. Well, here we are, back to Hobart to see the celebration of Dark Mofo. And we are making new friends at Dark Mofo. A visit to the Mona Gallery is always intriguing. You never know what is going to be shown next. Mainly the exhibits break all the boundaries. Even the entrance is exciting. I always like to see myself. It's all about the vaccine. We went early for the swim. We wanted to get a parking space. Not many were available. It won't be open for a while. The girls are still packing bathing caps and towels. Everybody has to book in. We did this about a month ago online. People keep asking me why did we do it. This actually is the main reason we came down, and the reason we are doing it is because we can. I love the cold water anyway. I was born in Tasmania, so it's no problem for me. But to do this with 1,500 other like-minded people is, quite apart from anything, it's fun, but it's very exciting. People are gathering.
1 minute later, you'll be out.
There are lots of fires on the foreshore, so you can go down and get warm and chat to the others. I hear it's 2 degrees this morning. We have to wait for the varying signals. We are told when to undress, when to drop the towel, and we all clap, then everybody runs when the bells go.
Good advice.
There is much interaction. It's a lovely thing to do. I think it says, just be model worthy.
The front? Oh, that's lovely. Thank you.
Where's Bill and Ben?
The sky. Oh, gee,
They're probably over.
We've just had the swim. Everybody is racing for their towel and mopping off. You are absolutely glowing after the cold water.
Going back for another one.
Many wanted a record of their bravery.
Is still frozen.
Oh, would you? Well, what was that? The morning.
Parted with temperatures near freezing, but those taking part say it was worth every minute. And bear with us, despite our best efforts, this story does contain some nudity.
The sun rising after the winter solstice, but there wouldn't be any shortage of moons on this beach. 1,500 gathering for Dark Mofo's annual nude swim. On Long Beach at exactly 7:42, the drums sounded and the towels were off. A sea of swimmers donning nothing but their custom swimming caps, making the cheeky dash down the beach. Some quickly retreating, others taking time to splash around.
It was freezing, but I feel alive.
The sand is much colder than the water.
I don't even swim here in summer. It's too cold. Not over here now.
And once you commit, there's no turning back.
Because you couldn't stop when you hit the water. Because there were people
just has people moving.
Yeah.
Many travelling from around the country, including one group from Adelaide, here celebrating a 60th birthday.
It's good to have good friends giving you, giving me that birthday wish.
His friends managing to sneak in for a dip, with others getting cold feet just before the sold-out event.
We're all on a wait list. We only had one ticket, we gave it to him, and we just persisted and waited right to the end.
While this group of amphibians made the trip from a sunnier Queensland.
1, 2, 3, go.
The temperature inside the water is 13 degrees. Outside, it's just 2. And it clearly takes a braver soul than me to bear all in this weather.
Hot water bottle, of course, and my flamingo dressing gown.
Defrosting, the biggest challenge faced afterward. Now likely to spend the rest of their day wearing a few more layers. Next side, 7 Tasmania News.
I filmed the news that night in our television room. I was hoping to see myself, but I couldn't pick myself
out. A long winter's night, hundreds of people lined up to bear all in the annual nude Solstice swim, a freezing farewell to another dark mofo. An onshore temperature of 3 degrees proved no deterrent, a brave crowd stripping off in preparation. The signalling flare was released, a sea of red swimming caps making their dash to the icy water. Some gently waded in, others chose to swim out to deeper water.
I like to swim out the front and then flip over and just watch everyone coming towards me. It's hilarious.
Emerging to warm hugs and socially distanced fire pits with a rush of community spirit.
The atmosphere is just very electric and happy and positive, and the water is freezing, but everybody's screaming and yelling, and it just, takes over.
For some, it's a family affair.
We make some events every year for us, and we just get together and then come down and enjoy the winter solstice swim.
For others, it's an early morning dose of adrenaline.
It's a bit like a baptism of freezing fire.
Social distancing requirements meant swimmers had to register to take the plunge in this year's event. In 2019, more than 2,000 people signed up, but this year only 1,500 spots were up for grabs, and they were snapped up just minutes after they were made available.
We've done it every year, actually, since it started. So it's become a bit of a tradition. Great fun.
A wintry ritual at the bottom of the world. Kate Ainsworth, ABC News.
Some children were playing happily on the sculptures in the Launceston Mall while we were shopping. And so, sadly, we leave this stunning island until next time. We will return as there is still so much to see. The mist was very heavy this morning, so I put the drone up way above the mist and revealed the sunrise in all its glory.